Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markel.
Hello, and welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. I am your host, in case you hadn't noticed that yet, but I am Paul Markel, and I've done a lot of things. I've worn many hats in my life. Been a United States Marine, a police officer, a professional bodyguard, a small arms and tactics instructor, a television host, and a radio host, and I've written a couple of books too. But other than that, I don't really do anything, and I'm not very busy. Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for beginning a fresh new era, 401. 401. We're hoping that we have even more listeners today than we ever have in the history of ever. And why wouldn't we, right, Jared? Jared, on the other side of the glass, I can hardly see Jared anymore because he has one monstrous and one regular size monitor in front of his face. How many monitors in your side of the studio, your engineer side, how many monitors do you have open and active right now?
I now have 5.
You have 5.
3, 4, 5.
You remember the old days when you just had one?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I had one MacBook Pro 13-inch monitor, computer, and one interface, and 2 microphones, and 2 microphone stands, and 2 pop filters. And that's how we started the radio show.
And that's how we started.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we started, I think episode 1 and 2, like 1, 2, and 3 were
we didn't even have pop filters.
Oh, we didn't even have we only had a single mic? Or did we have 2?
No, we only had 1.
We only had 1.
I didn't join until...
I just sat there and talked into a microphone.
Yeah.
But at least I didn't have to talk to Mr. Producer like EJ.
Yeah. Those of you that know. Those of you that don't probably never will.
Those of you that don't. So, but that's the way it is. So, yeah, it's 401.
EJ, if you're listening to this, text me so I know that you listen.
He's not listening.
Oh,
he's got work to do.
But he does?
Yeah. And that's okay. And I have friends who have TV and radio shows, and they don't listen to mine, and I don't listen to theirs.
I listen to EJ's show. So.
I do listen to EJ's show occasionally. I don't listen every single day. I don't listen or watch anything every single day. Most people that...
EJ only does one per week.
That do what we do, they're really busy working. And, they watch TV on demand like we do. Like at 9:45 or 10:15 or whatever, you sit down and you're like, all right, I'm done thinking for the day.
I'm convinced.
I want to watch something.
I'm convinced that nobody does what we do because we work with 4 people and we do TV, radio,
the written
so much
word.
Stuff. You know what's funny?
What's funny?
People, when somebody asks me, hey, what do you do? Like, I don't know how to answer. Like, which personality do you want?
I do things.
I'm a drug dealer.
I do stuff. No, when you go to the chiropractor or the masseuse or the whatever, anywhere where they have you fill out a form, they have you fill out the initial thing. Like when you go to a new masseuse and you've never gone to, and they give you that thing and it says, do you have any pre-existing medical conditions? Do you have this? And they ask you what your occupation is, because I guess, I don't know. I always write down, dude. And my only pre-existing condition is Count Chocolitis.
Yeah, that's funny.
I had one person catch it when I was at the I guess it was the Hard Rocks spa, and the guy came in and he goes, "So you're a dude?" I said, "Yep."
A dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Disguised as another dude. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. I don't know. I know who I am. You know who you are. What did Jay Barrakel say? He goes, the level of insecurity in this room is amazing. Or something. He goes, this is Twigman. My son made him for me. Does he want to come too? His name is Half Squat.
Did you watch the second one of the my mind went somewhere else, and we're not on the same page anymore? But
We're not on. There's only one Tropic Thunder.
No, what's the movie? Oh, Zoolander.
Oh, the
Did
second
you watch
Zoolander?
Zoolander
No,
2? Don't watch it.
No, it'll come on Netflix. And
Maybe the
I'll
first
watch
one.
it when.
I thought it already was.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I don't know how I watched it then. Probably
It
Amazon.
was in the theater.
I didn't go to the theater.
You watched it on maybe Amazon Prime or something like that.
I think that maybe the second one was as stupid as the first, and I just forgot how stupid the first one was.
Well, you know what happened with the Zoolander is it came out the same week as Deadpool,
oh,
and Deadpool pretty much destroyed it.
yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool came out, and people were like, "What? That other thing? Yeah, that sequel, the 10-year sequel." That's crazy. All right, we're not going to talk about that anymore. What are we going to talk about? Well, let's talk about stuff and junk. Okay. Oh, I got to change the keyword. It's not Holiday Patriots anymore. That was last week.
Welcome to all of you guys that are listening on Google Play now. I've gotten emails from a couple of you actually saying thanks for being on Google Play, and thank you for listening to us, because that's why we're there.
All right. So, I don't know what go ahead and pick a keyword. I don't care. But today is, well, it's Thursday, and because it's Thursday, that means it's the last public broadcast of the week for Student of the Gun Radio. Fear not, we'll be back on Monday. But if you were a grad program member, if you are a grad program member, well, guess what? I mean, you get a full hour of Student of the Gun Radio goodness mañana. And it's the big boy, big girl hour. It's commercial free. It's a commercial free hour of Student of the Gun Radio where we talk about whatever it is we want to talk about and in whatever language it is we feel like using. Sometimes we use big boy words and sometimes we don't, but we use them when it's appropriate. And that's the way it is. That's the way the world needs to be. But moving on. All right, Second Amendment. Let's talk about the Second Amendment. Let's talk about guns. Congratulations. Well, we're not going to say the winner yet because the winner hasn't confirmed their email yet. That's kind of the crazy thing. Yesterday we announced that we were going to be giving away a bunch of winners, but we have to give everybody 24 hours to respond because we are kind and gentle like that, or at least Jared is kind and gentle like that. When we send you an email and we say, congratulations, you are a winner, please respond to this email. We give you 24 hours. And if you don't, guess what? Then somebody else is going to be the winner. Maybe you could be like maybe you could be like Ryan Hepfer, and he got himself a coffee box because the first winner didn't watch the video to the end and didn't confirm within 24 hours. So, but we've got a lot of good friends in the industry. We have a lot of friends that have helped us over the years. We've given away a tremendous amount of stuff just because, well, we like you, and we'd like you to have good stuff. Our friends at Duracoat. Why do you want Duracoat? Well, because life's too ugly to have a short gun. Or is it too short to have an ugly gun? I don't know. You tell me. It's your world. I'm just living in it. But I think life's too short to have cold French fries, bad coffee, or ugly guns. And if you don't want to have an ugly gun, go to Duracoat. Go to Lauer Custom Weapon. No, it's just LauerWeaponry.com. Or you can go to Brownells. If you're shopping on Brownells for whatever it is you want, you can pick up Duracoat products, and you don't have to make them colors. You know, you can redo your wooden stock, or you can put a bluing finish on it, or what have you. The world's your oyster, man. Just go crazy. Do what you want to do. Brownells has the emergency and survival gear, and I want to make sure you guys remember that because it is hurricane season, and we already had one storm threaten the coast, and you know there's going to be more. So get yourself ready now as opposed to when everybody else in the world is panicking. When the rest of the world is panicking, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to just step back away from it and remove yourself from the psychotic panic buying that everyone else is doing. Frog Lube, it's green, it's minty fresh. It's extreme, and if you haven't tried the Frog Lube Extreme, you should. You should also clean your guns every once in a while. That's a helpful hint from your Uncle Paul. Every once in a while, I know it's crazy. You're like, what? Clean it, but shouldn't it? Isn't it self-cleaning? I bought a Glock, and they told me it was self-cleaning. I just put it in my washer. I put it in the dishwasher and run it through. Please don't do that. Or do it. Hey, you know what? If you want to put your iPhone 5 in a microwave to recharge the battery, you can do it because you're an American. and I'm not going to stop you. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. Makers of the TP9SA, SF, SFX. I'm sure there's going to be more letters coming. And, of course, the C-39 V2, the made in the USA. 100% made in the USA AK-47 rifle. Yes, everything, even down to the screws and pins, is made in the USA. And lastly, but not leastly, in my list of friends and fans, SWAT Fuel. Go to SWATfuelstore.com. Use the promo code SOTG2015. Sharper minds, stronger bodies.
Yeah, and I'll talk about the 41F. It's almost over. You guys have less than 30 days now, so you need to get in on it. And basically just go to silencershop.com, find out everything you need to know there. And if you get your application in by July 6th, then Silencer Shop will transfer the application. They'll process the application. Or you will get $100.
That's right.
That's pretty righteous.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right, I've got a story here that's kind of one of those what stories, kind of things that make you go, Oh, if I were to say to you, Jared, tomorrow or next week or Friday morning or whatever, there's going to be a prayer breakfast. And let's say I invited you to it. What kind of prayer? I mean, if I said there was going to be a prayer breakfast at Fort Riley, Kansas, whom do you think would be officiating and organizing the prayer breakfast at Fort Riley, Kansas? Would you think it would be like Buddhists or those of the Hindu faith? Maybe like, some tree lovers or what, pagans? Who would be organizing a prayer breakfast at Fort Riley, Kansas? What denomination of faith do you think?
I would guess Christians?
Well, you'd think. Now, when you hear the term prayer breakfast and it's happening on a United States Army installation, well, you would think, well, yeah, it's going to be organized and put on by Christian people because this is the world and that's what we expect. And this is not 7th century death cult derpa land. But apparently, This is part of the Comrade Barry scorched earth policy. Jared, how long have I been telling the people who would listen to me, both in written word on this radio station right here, that the current administration, the Comrade Barry administration, has been for 8 years now actively seeking to destroy the United States military from within, to basically push out all the hard-charging meat-eaters and replace them with subservient yes-men. I've been telling you guys that for a long time. Well, guess what? I've got another fantastic example of the weakness of the United States Army and the military in general. And this story comes to us from KCTV5.com. Retired military officer disinvited from prayer breakfast at Fort Riley, Kansas. And you're like, why would that be? Well, the story is datelined June 8th, 2016. Fort Riley, Kansas, dateline AP. That's Associated Press to you kids out there. A war of words is being waged at a Kansas military base after a highly decorated retired officer was disinvited from a prayer breakfast because of complaints about his outspoken Christian conservative views. A what? So somebody that has, quote, outspoken Christian conservative views is not invited to a prayer breakfast because what? Jared, if you are opposed to conservative Christian views, let's say you're on that side, right? You're like, I don't like these Christians. They're always trying to force their religion on me. And did you hear last week about like a big army of Christians rolled into a village in Africa and they told everyone, you need to be baptized and believe in Christ. And if you don't, we're going to chop off your heads and kill you in the street. Did you hear about that? Well, I heard something like that, but I don't think it was Christians that were doing that. Well, it was some group of people that did it, and it might as well have been them. Okay, so you got a prayer breakfast going there, and you're going to not let somebody come because they have Christian conservative views. The Topeka Capital Journal reports that retired Lieutenant General, and a lieutenant general is a 3-star general. That's pretty high up there. There's not too many of those people walking around. Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin was scheduled to speak Monday at Fort Riley as a part of the 1st Infantry Division's Victory Week. Boykin listen to this, listen to the dedication and service that this man gave to the soft-minded, puke-faced social justice warrior a-holes who inhabit the United States. Those who they live in the United States of America, and they enjoy all the benefits of being in the United States of America, but they think that they just get it because it's nice. Not because men like General Boykin have given their entire lives to preserving and securing the United States of America against enemies. No, that's not why. Boykin spent 36 years in the Army and led the elite Delta Force in attempts to recover hostages in Iran, that goes way back, apprehend Manuel Noriega, and track drug kingpin Pablo Escobar. But he also has drawn attention for claiming Islam doesn't deserve First Amendment protection and that President Barack Obama subliminally supports al-Qaeda. What part of that sentence is wrong? Oh, that's right. We live in a world where the truth is hate speech. You can't speak the truth because the truth is hate speech.
Read the next sentence, and you guys listen to how hypocritical this is.
Boykin was disinvited from the breakfast after the Military Religious Freedom Foundation protested his appearance at the event.
So the Religious Freedom Foundation was protesting him because he's a Christian.
They don't want... So which religious freedom are they looking for here? I'm not really sure. Yeah. So that's the world that we're living in today.
Yeah, that's freaking ridiculous.
That's the wonderful world of the United States Army and the modern military. They have been destroyed, and you've allowed it to happen, and it happened right underneath your nose. And you know why it happened? Because you were too weak to stop all of your soft-minded, ignorant, moronic, selfish friends, neighbors, and relatives from putting in a communist community organizer, from installing that person into the highest seat in the nation. And what do we have now? Well, right now we have a bunch of selfish, crybaby, sour grapes people who are trying to subvert the candidacy of Donald Trump. Whether you like Trump or not, here's the dealio, yo. Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party because all of the people in the Republican Party establishment who are supposed to be doing their jobs, who are supposed to be putting the brakes on and stopping the communist community organizer known as Comrade Barry Hussein, who are supposed to defund all of his socialist, quite frankly, unconstitutional policies and referendums. Those people failed again and again and again. And the true people of the United States of America, those who make this country work, not the parasites, not those who are living off of their neighbor's money, but those who actually get up every day and go to work and pay ridiculously high taxes and sacrifice, those people are fed up with being told, oh, just give us 4 more years and we'll fix it. Just give us a couple more years and we'll fix it. No, we're not going to give you any more years of anything. And all of you folks that are like Cruz supporters or Ryan supporters or Kasich supporters or whatever, and you're like, this Trump guy, he's an outsider. He's not one of us. That's the point. He's not one of the establishment Republicans, because right now, the good people of America are wholly and completely rejecting Donald Trump's candidacy. Is a complete and total rejection of the establishment Republican Party. And rather than admit their failure, they're doubling down. And all of you knuckleheads out there who are mad, I like Ted Cruz. I think Ted Cruz is a good guy. I think he probably would have been a good president. But you know what? He was too closely tied to the establishment. That's why. You want to know my opinion, and I'll tell you. And so what we've got right now is a bunch of crybaby a-holes on the Republican side who are like, I'll never vote for Trump. I'll vote for a tree before I vote for Trump. Really? So you'd rather have Hillary? You'd rather have that just despicable reprobate traitor? The fact that anybody that any adult human American could publicly endorse that monster should scare you. I'm not saying that they're. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Anybody that openly and publicly supports Hillary cannot be trusted. There's many reasons why they cannot be trusted. Number one, either A, because they're a parasite. They're a complete and total social parasite, and they want to live off of the labors of their fellow man. They believe that they're owed stuff, money, phones, housing, utilities, whatever. They're owed, and it's your responsibility to give it to them. They don't have to do it. So you've got parasites, right, that support that side of the aisle. So those people can't be trusted because, well, they don't want to contribute. They just want to take away. You can't have a fully functional society when people are just taking out and not putting anything back. It doesn't work like that. In the history of the whole freaking world, not just the United States, a society cannot survive when it's full of parasites. Eventually, the host will die. Now, the host can live for a long time with a few parasites. But once the parasites outnumber they outweigh the ability of the host to provide, the host dies. Then you have just the blissfully, woefully, clinically naive that actually believe the words that come out of that monster's mouth, that actually think that what that monster says is going to happen or is true. Those people are so naive, childish, and stupid that they should never be put in charge of anything because they're dangerous. And the third group of supporters for the communist left, known as the Democrat Party of America, is the criminal element. The corrupt criminal element who sees the government as a way of making money, of getting their stuff, of corrupting and twisting it in order to, A, force the rest of the country to do what they want to do, and B, to feather their own nests, and to further take down the foundational principles of the United States. So I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry to all you listeners out there, all you Americans who are PO'd because Cruz didn't get it or whoever your favorite guy was, whatever. But the fact of the matter, let's be honest can we be honest for 5 seconds? And somebody just recently said they're like, Donald Trump, but I don't trust him, blah, blah. So here's your Scylla and Charybdis scenario, kid. So if you convince hundreds of thousands of your friends and followers to vote for a tree or to vote for me or whatever, and then so Hillary gets elected as the president of the United States. Do you really think that's a better situation for the United States of America than Donald Trump? And I've heard people say, well, Paul, if Trump gets elected, he's not a Republican Party member. He's not a member of the establishment. They'll refuse to work with him. Nothing in Washington will get done. Good. Good. Too much is getting done now. I would love for all those people to take 4 years off and leave me alone. But whatever. Well, what's going on in the glorious People's Republic of California? I don't know, but I know we have a theme song for them.
I like to teach you all the rules. I get to see them set in stone. I like it when you chain me to the bed, but then you see it's never shown.
All right, here we are back again. We're back again putting our lives, our fortunes, and our freedom in the hands of a bunch of people in black robes, a bunch of men in black, women in black. Apparently, we're in this weird oligarchy situation where you're just too stupid to know what the law says. You're just a big, dumb idiot. I tried to read that Bill of Rights things, but there was just too many words for me. I need someone who's way super smarter than me to tell me what that means, because it's really confusing. Well, let me break it down for you. I know that a lot of you are confused by the really detailed legalese, the hundreds, if not thousands of words that are in the Bill of Rights, and that some of you are just too stupid to understand what it means, and you need someone who's really super smart. You need a person in a black robe to tell you what the meaning of is. Amendment number 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, asterisk, unless you're a Christian, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble, unless they are afforded Secret Service protection, then they cannot, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. That's Amendment number 1. Now, Amendment number 2 says, a well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay, let me break this down for you. To keep means to possess and or own. To bear means to have on your person, to carry, to actually have it with you. Now, if it was just to keep arms, that would mean that you are allowed to own them and have them in a safe at your house, okay? But to bear arms means to actually carry arms on you, to have it on your person, to be in control of it. So, in a period of about 90 seconds, I just explained to everyone who understands the English language, and I know that many of you who went to public school in the last 20 years don't fully comprehend the English language, but you might want to go back to school and take like English 100 or maybe 101. Then you can be, because Jared, you know, there are people in the listening audience that do have marginal English skills. But let's go ahead to the firearmscoalitionpolicy.org or firearmspolicy.org's website. Breaking news, June 9th, 2016. The Ninth Circuit Court rules against CCW. Pertuda in the Second Amendment Kerry case. Where's the Ninth Circuit Court located? Oh, it would be in San Francisco, California. Yeah, do we have a winner, Johnny? That's right. Here is the summary judgment from the Ninth Circuit Court out of San Francisco, California. The en banc court, that is confirms the district court's judgment and affirmed the district court's judgment and held that there is, listen to this, no Second Amendment rights for members of the general public to carry concealed firearms in public. Let that sink in for a second. So the Ninth Circuit Court of the United States just said that, let's see, and this is a ruling by Petula versus City of San Diego, appeals from the United States District Court of the Eastern District of California, Chief Morrison C. England, Chief District Judge presiding, argued and submitted en banc, June 16th. 2015. Okay, that's when it was submitted. Filed on June 9th, 2016. And it says the judges that were present and so on and so forth. So, according to the Ninth Circuit Court in San Francisco, quote, the judgments and held that there is no Second Amendment right for members of the general public to carry concealed firearms in public. Appellants who live in San Diego and Yolo counties. Jared, did you know there actually is a YOLO county in California? Does that make you want to jump out of your chair?
Yes.
In Yolo, I almost can't go on. Sought to carry concealed firearms in public for self-defense, but alleged that they were denied licenses to do so because they did not satisfy good cause requirements in their counties. Under California law, an applicant for a license, that is a government permission slip, because apparently California has never read the Second Amendment, and I'm pretty sure, Jared, should I reread it? In Amendment 2, does it say anything about you must get a permission slip from the government?
Not last time I read it. But maybe they've changed it.
Does it say Congress shall enact laws for the issuance of permits and licenses to keep and bear arms?
Nope.
I think it says shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
Now, I know that I'm not an English professor, and there may be English professors out there, but I would say that the word infringe is to hinder or stop or prevent. So if a government agency tells you that, A, you first must obtain a license, and B, we can tell you no if we don't think you have, quote, a good cause, wouldn't that seem to be the definition of the word infringe? Like I said, I don't have a law degree like these super smart people in black robes at the Ninth Circuit District. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? It says the NBAC court stated that there may or may not be Second Amendment right for a member of the general public to carry openly, but the Supreme Court has not answered that question. So what are they saying? Well, we're not gonna get on that. So, yeah, we're gonna put that. If you guys want to read the whole thing, because it's a whole lot of legalese and heretofores and therefores and thuses and so forth. But the summary is really it's the important part. And I just thought you guys out there in the United States would like to know that, according to the Ninth Circuit Court in California, you don't have a right to carry a concealed gun on you in public. And you're like, Paul, I don't live in California. I don't care, man. Hey, crazy. That this is a district, United States District Court. This isn't a California State Court. So the appeal is the United States Court. And what did they just set, Jared? What did they do again? They set this thing called judicial
precedent.
Precedent. That's right. Yeah. So that means other judges can take this ruling and support their rulings. They can base their rulings on this one. Well, it's a good thing that there are smart men in black robes to tell me, because I'm not that smart. All right, let's go ahead and it is Thursday, so let's move on to our Student of the Gun homeroom. We've got something kind of cool. I think you'll appreciate and enjoy this.
What you gonna do when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to the ready. It's 2012, all about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to the ready. You don't believe me, just look deep into the soul.
All right.
Come to the ready.
Darth faded for me over there. All right, Darth Vader. Let's talk about police trade-in guns. Well,
I was liking that song.
You were liking it. I know you were digging it. You were like, woo! I just wrote an article about Confessions of a 40 cal lover, and in there I mentioned the fact that right now Glock and Glock law enforcement representatives, law enforcement salesmen, have been trading out Glock 22s and 23s, 40 caliber Glocks. And what are agencies buying? You're like, well, Paul, then they're going up to the 21s, right? No, actually they're not. Law enforcement agencies nationwide are switching back to 9mm handguns faster than, basically almost faster than the manufacturers can keep up. And a good friend of mine just told me that his agency, his sheriff's department, just did that thing. They traded out all of their Glock 22s and 23s, and they're getting brand new 17s and 19s. And why is that? Well, I'm not going to get into the 40 cal thing, but I'm going to tell you this. What does that mean to you, the American citizen? Well, it means that very soon, all of your favorite gun distributors, all of your firearms distributors that you like, your wholesalers and retailers and the people that have these things called police trade-in guns. There's a lot of different companies out there. AIM Surplus is one of them. There's one out in Nevada. And anyway, you're going to see these local places. They'll have police trade-in guns. And you're going to see a lot of Glock 22 and 23 police trade-in guns on sale. And many of these are going to say, comes with night sights. And they're going to jack the price up. They're going to increase the price on you because this police trade-in Glock 22 or 23 comes with night sights. Woo! And you're going to get excited. You know, you might even get a little bit, antsy in your pantsy there thinking that you're going to get police-grade night sights. What are night sights? Well, night sights generally, as they're manufactured and made by places like Glock and SIG and so forth, they are tritium. Front and rear sights that have tritium inserts. What is tritium? Tritium is a radioactive material. Tritium has a shelf life. Did you know that? Yes, it's true. Tritium has a shelf life. And eventually the tritium will go from super bright to a little dimmer and a little more dim, a little more dim, a little more dim. And eventually it'll just be a little green dot that you can see at the daytime. But at night, it doesn't really glow at all. Because that's the way tritium works. And that's the way radioactive material works. Guess what, Sparky? If you buy a police trade-in Glock 22, it'll probably be in good shape, maybe, I don't know. But if the agencies had that gun for 12 years, 15 years, 17 years, or more, and it has, quote, factory original night sights on it, there's not going to be any glow left in those sights, brothers and sisters. Or if there is any glow in those sights, it's going to be very, very minute. So don't buy into it comes with night sights, so it's an extra $50. Or now, if you're buying them new, if you're buying a gun brand new and you're buying night sights, yes, you pay the extra money. But if you're buying a gun that's 15 years old or 12 years old or 10 years old even, and they're trying to tell you, oh, you need to pay the extra blankety blank for night sights. Be like, nah, I don't think so, Sparky. But there is one good thing about night sights. They're made out of steel. And so they're solid. They're good, solid steel sights. That is good. And another good thing about Glocks is it's really super, almost retarded simple to swap out and put new sights on a Glock. You can install a set of XS big dot sights at your workbench in 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes if you take your time, right? If you've never done it before and you're slowly following the instructions, it'll take you maybe 10 minutes. But the good news is if the sights are, if they are night sights, real factory night sights, they will be made out of steel, and so they'll be rugged and they'll be there. And they're fully functional in the daytime. It's just that the older they get, if they're more than 5, 6, 7, if they're 10 years old, they're not going to be glowing very bright. If they're 15 years old or older, they probably will have next to no glow at all left in them. So don't buy into the bull crap. No, these guys, these used gun salesmen are like, oh, man, it comes with night sights. You're like, wow, super cool. Gee whiz, man. Take my money fast. Here's the deal. Also, I was insulted recently. I went into a police supply store, and they tried to sell me. Well, they didn't try. They offered. They're like, oh, I said, you have police trading guns? Yeah, we got the Glock 22 right here. I'm like, oh, well, how much you want for it? $4.99. He said he wanted me to buy a used police trade-in Glock 22 for $499, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys probably just... But he said to me, he goes, it comes with night sights. He obviously did not know who he was talking to. So I laughed in his face. And, You're like, well, that was kind of mean of you to laugh in his face, wasn't it, Paul? No, he deserved it. He deserved it. Here's what should you pay for a trade-in G22? $299, maybe $329 if you're feeling generous. That's what you should pay. Or you could just go buy a brand spanking new TP9 SA or SF for about $349.99. You could do that.
I think it's $369, and then they have sales a lot. So
yeah, they have sales all the time.
I think the lowest they were was $329.
Yeah. All right, kids. That's it for Thursday. That's it for the public broadcast of Student of the Gun Radio. We'll be back tomorrow morning for all of you grad program people, all you excellent decision makers. And for those of you that don't want to play on Friday, well, that's cool too. We'll talk to you on Monday. Remember, it's your responsibility and your duty to share this with at least one person. You got the show for free. And if you enjoyed it, share it. If you didn't enjoy it, write to refunds at P.O. Box 405, Boulder, Colorado.